Good morning. Let's look at the topic 3, uses of various sources of energy during the Industrial Revolution in Europe. In this topic, we learn about various sources of energy during the Industrial Revolution. Then we look at the objectives. By the end of the lesson, or rather the topic, you should be able to name various sources of energy in Europe, explain the uses of different sources of energy. Then we go to the first the first the first one is the coal. Coal is a compact of black or dark brown carbonaceous rock which fuels and source of coke, coal gas, and coal tar. Abraham Darby invented the process by which coal was turned into coke in 1709, thus discovered the coal produced by immerse it. Coke was used to smelt iron. Then we look at the uses of coal. For example, I've said now coke was used to smelt iron. Then it was also used to heat water into high temperature so as to produce steam. It was also used to provide lighting. It was also used to drive steam engines in factories. Some generators depended on coal heat to produce the steam. Then it was also used to drive locomotives. This promoted the transport. It was a raw material in manufacturing dye and pharmaceutical products. Then we look at the disadvantages of coal. It's a bulky and transporting it's difficult because it's heavy. Then it produced too much smoke when used in locomotives. Coal was expensive to mine to transport to the required destination, so making it a challenge. Coal mining was risky to miners who often lost their lives when mines collapsed and buried. Then we look at the petroleum. The use of oil became widespread in the invention of internal combustion engine it was invented by Gottlieb Daimler. Then the uses of oil, it is used to power vehicles and ships. It was also used to generate and used in lighting and cooking. It was used to run engines in industries. Tar, that's the bitumen, a product of petroleum, is used to tarmac roads. Then the greasing of metals in industries was done by petroleum by products such as grease. Then we look at the disadvantages of oil. Oil is expensive to transport and import. Importing oil is very much expensive. That's why you see when a country imports oil, most of its impact that a country is poor. Then prospecting for oil is quite expensive. Then oil may also affect the environment. Yeah, it's a pollutant to either water or even plants. It can pollute water, leading to death of marine lives. Then steam. Steam is a boiling water turned into gas. It was used for the first time in 100 AD in a steam-powered engine developed by a Greek scientist called Hero. In the 16th century, Thomas Savery, a Briton, built an engine that could pump water out of coal mine. Thomas Newcomb improved Savery's design, though the design was still ineffective. In 1764, James Watt improved a Newcomb's engine to make it more effective, and by 1800, 320 of the Watt's engines were used in Britain. Then in 1801, Richard Trevithick installed one of Watt's engine in road vehicle. 3 years later, he produced a steam-driven locomotive that ran on rails. Then in 1830, George Stephenson improved the Trevithick work and invented the first steam locomotive, that's the rocket. Then we look at the uses of the steam. It was used to drive heavy machineries in factories and turn turbines that generated power for industries. It was used for pumping water out of coal mines. It was used in steam-powered locomotives and ships. The massive temple's doors in Egypt were opened using steam. Steam was used to open doors. We look at electricity. Electricity was first invented by Michael Faraday from the year 1791 to the year 1861. In 1831, when he invented electric dynamo, that is Michael Faraday who invented the electric dynamo. His principle of electromagnetic induction was the beginning of both the dynamo and the electric motor. The energy used in the energy from coal, oil, steam, and water to produce electricity. The use of electricity became widespread in the 1900s. That's the 19th century. Then we look at the uses of electricity. It is used for lighting. Most people are using electricity. It is used for eating and cooking. There are electric cookers. Then it is used for powering machines in factories. Mostly machines are powered by electricity. Then it is for communication. It's used for communication. Electrical signals are used as communication gadgets. Then power transport vehicles such as the electric trains, electric cars, and even the electric buses. Then we look at the disadvantages of electricity. It can be very dangerous if not well installed. This can cause fire, which can lead to destruction of the property. Then the generation and distribution of electricity is very much expensive. That it is limited to few people in developing countries. We look at the atomic energy. In the year 1896, a French physicist Anthony Henry Becquerel, in the year 1522 to the year 1900, he discovered that uranium produces radiation or energy in waves, the radioactivity. This was the birth of the development of the atomic energy. In the year 1839, Arnold Stresemann discovered the process of atomic fission, which led to the production of atomic energy. Then in the year 1942, a group of scientists by the name Enrico Fermi of the University of Chicago, USA, built the first nuclear research station, which resulted to invention of a nuclear reactor, and later discovered of the atomic bomb that was used in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the year 1945. However, atomic energy when used in war can be very fatal. Then it causes air pollution when radioactivity has taken place and causes fever, diarrhea, and even the death. For example, the radioactivity accident in the year 1985 at the 3 Mile Island in USA, and the Chernobyl by near Kyiv in Ukraine in the year 1886 has had fatal consequences. Then we look at the solar energy. It is obtained from the sun. It can be used to dry wood, clothes, and even to cook. It was invented in the year 1714 by Antonin Lavoisier, which made a solar furnace that could smelt metals. We look at the uses of solar energy. It is used for drying clothes. It is also used for drying agricultural products, distilling salts to get salt crystals, Heating water in homes and industries. The sun can be used to heat water. Then heating and lighting buildings. It can be also used in cooking solar cookers. Then irrigating using the solar water pumps. Then powering satellites in the space. Then we look at the advantages of solar. It is clean and available in places where sunlight is readily available. It's a natural source and therefore it's free and non-pollutant. We look at the seventh one, the iron and steel. Iron and steel. Iron was not a really source of energy, but the industrial revolution was dependent on the availability of the iron. Then we look at the uses of iron. It is used in production of machines for textile industry, production of steam engines, building of trains, railways, ships, and wheels. Then the uses of steel, it's used in construction of the rails, used in manufacturing or of machinery, especially in agricultural and industrial sectors. Then to reinforce of concrete in buildings and even making containers.